Was there ever a time Robin Williams was not on top of the world or on top of your heart? If you were born in the 1980s or 90s, then Robin was a part of your childhood. From playing a genie to Peter Pan, throwing make-believe food, acting like a little old lady that was really just a nice guy down on his luck. Robin makes you love the moment with laughter, or wrapped up in a compelling moment that has you feeling sad and making you feel the secret in your life come out. This is Robin, the man we love and miss. I remember being a kid, watching late night TV with my mom. We would watch David Letterman, Jay Leno, and I remember seeing Robin being on these shows, acting so funny, loud, and physically moving, making everyone break character and laugh more than they were supposed to. Even as a kid, I knew this was very strange. I knew there was something very special about this person. For many of us, Robin seemed like a dad growing up, maybe like a long-distance stepdad that brought us comfort, made us laugh, that we always rooted for. Looking at Robin's life is interesting. He is a husband, a father, and for most of his career, he's had a family, raising kids from child to adult. Robin's career starting as a stand-up, from just simply being a street entertainer, someone that was just fine being on a corner and standing there entertaining people. It's a radical thought, but Robin's career was always moving fast, from doing stand-up to a few shows, and then finding gold on one TV show, Mork and Mindy, and from there, starting his career in film. Being a child, watching Robin become and transform into all these characters that we all still hold so close to our hearts. Robin's character of Peter Pan always interested me, going back to Neverland as a man, trying to be happy, find his childlike happiness once again, and at the same time, be a father. These are elements I saw in Robin himself. When you're a child, it's easy to look at someone that seems like they have everything together. They're so in control of other people's happiness, pushing laughter out of them. But as I became older, I could see Robin as a human, or as the man. Someone that did have anxieties, problems, doubts, concerns. But in Robin's later life, we did see a change, just a little bit of a different Robin. He's remarried, living the life of an actor that is still very busy, but not putting out the same big movies. It's not a secret, Robin has had great success in his career, but it does seem to be boiling down. But something took place early on in Robin's life and career, something that could have really shipwrecked him, something that could have steered Robin's life in a new direction, but something Robin would steer in the right direction. In 1982, March of that year, Robin would be out, having a night of fun with friends. But late into the night of March 5th, Robin would visit a friend that he loved and cherished. The friend was John Belushi. Robin would visit John that night in his bungalow. It was late in the night. Essentially, it was almost morning of the next day. John had already been up all night, having his own party. He was also visited that night by Robert De Niro. Robin would be there for a short time visiting John. The two would partake in their own little party for a short time. After the two were done, Robin would leave because he was due back on set that day to shoot an episode of Mork and Mindy. Sadly, Robin doesn't know this is the last time he will see his friend. John, 33, would not survive the overdose. Robin says in so many words, it was a wake-up call. It would be a turning point for me. Robin's own drug use was something that was slipping through his fingers aggressively. Robin struggled with cocaine and alcohol in the 70s and 80s aggressively. Crazy as it is, Robin is seen at some of the most famous and lavish parties in the 70s and 80s, with the most famous of stars, from film to influencers of the time. Robin is living big, but still seeking and trying to become clean himself. Robin would say this years later in an interview. Cocaine for me was a place to hide. Most people get hyper on coke. It slowed me down. I knew I had to quit or it would kill me. But one thing that Robin would struggle with his whole entire life is working on his sobriety. Alcohol would constantly haunt him. That was just hard for Robin to shake. It will come up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s for Robin. He's not scared to say it's just a daily element in his life that he has to work on. But Robin is clean from alcohol for a majority of the late 80s into the 90s and early 2000s. Robin will say years later, he has come to understand addiction. For that first week, you lie to yourself and tell yourself you can stop, and then your body kicks back and says, no, stop later. It waits. It lays in wait for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. Then the next thing you know, it's not okay. In 2003, Robin will have a relapse with alcohol and start drinking again. This will be a huge and bad turning point in Robin's life. He will be in Alaska filming while this happens. Robin has 4 projects that he is working on in 2003 and says he is stressed and overworked to a breaking point. He said he was tired and alone in a little town in Alaska and said, maybe that will help, and it was the worst thing in the world. It will take until 2006 for a family intervention to get Robin to rehab, 3 whole years before it is addressed by Robin's family. After becoming clean once again, Robin will attend AA meetings on a weekly basis to help himself. When looking at Robin, you can't help but see that Robin is a special person that does special things for people. I came across a story that Robin tried to keep secret, but the media picked up on it. In 2004, a little girl named Jessica Cole asked to meet Robin through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. She said Robin was her hero, and she loved him and Mrs. Doubtfire. But Jessica became too sick to travel to California to meet Robin. So Robin did what heroes do. He booked a private plane and flew to the other side of the country in Greensboro, North Carolina. Robin spent the whole afternoon with Jessica, playing cards, watching football, telling her stories, making her laugh. Jessica's parents were just in unbelief that Robin would take a day and spend it with their daughter and pay for the whole thing himself. Jessica, she passed away 2 months later, but she got to meet her hero. She got to meet someone she loved. Robin did this with many children. He loved giving back to people, especially children, his time, his wealth, whatever he could do to make someone's day. It's hard to think that someone so beautiful to people, and so beautiful it seems in life, would hurt themselves in the end. Leading up to Robin's last days with us, it's not the happiest place to imagine. The last few months of Robin's life are sad. It seemed too fast. Robin knew something was wrong and would keep saying to his wife, I just want to reboot my brain. 3 months before Robin leaves us, he is told he has the Lewy body disease, which in so many words is Parkinson's disease. Robin is in the very early stages of it, but is starting to notice things that aren't right with him. This is a hard reality to accept for anybody. Robin is in shock. Now that he knows its explained elements in his life up to this point, Robin keeps the news very private, only to his wife and children to know what is going on with Robin. Robin would express to his wife that he was having anxiety, depression, and was very paranoid. Robin would also say he was starting to lose his sense of smell. This was not normal behavior for Robin. He was not used to it. The doctors said it could be from the Parkinson, but Robin wanted a second opinion. So Robin and his wife, they made an appointment about neurocognitive disorder to maybe see if something else was going on. But sadly, Robin will never make the appointment to see if there was something more. The last time Robin will be seen in the public was the day before he passed away. It was a Saturday night at a reception held at an art gallery. Robin is seen there, moving around the room. Robin's dressed in black, looks frail, and slow-moving, and very skinny. Robin is having a nice time, talking to friends. Looking at Robin's last day, it would be a normal day, although Susan, Robin's wife, says he is very paranoid. On that day, Robin would take a few wristwatches, placing them in a sock, and drop them off with someone he knew that would keep them safe, with not much rhyme or reason. At 7 p.m. that night, Robin called his wife to say he was picking up her favorite magazines at a bookstore, then would be home. When Robin returned home that night, he gave Susan the magazines. Susan said Robin seemed okay, but was walking around the house, going through the closets, looking for something. Later that night, he would grab his iPad and tell Susan he was going to the bedroom to read and trying to get some sleep. Robin had been sleeping in the spare bedroom because he was having trouble staying asleep or falling asleep, and was even talking in his sleep. So with that, Robin looks at Susan holding his iPad and says, "Good night, my love. Goodbye." From there, we lose all trace of what and where Robin did next. All we know is that Robin was found the next morning. Susan would leave the house that morning thinking Robin was still sleeping, not wanting to wake him. But around 11:45 a.m., Robin's assistant went to go check on him. Robin was not answering the knock on the door, so the assistant picked the locked door and opened the door to see Robin in a sitting position on the floor with a belt around his neck. Robin had used the closet door to choke himself, with one side of the belt around his neck and the other side of the belt on the other side of the closet door, with the frame stopping the belt from breaking loose. When Robin is found, CPR will not be done. It's obvious. Robin is gone. Cut marks will also be found on Robin's wrist from a pocket knife with his blood on it nearby. Robin has no drugs in his system that are not supposed to be there, or the ones that are there have not been abused. It's not very clear why Robin chose such a terrible and brutal way to take his own life. It's a hard pill for family, friends, and fans to understand. Robin's wife will make a statement that the reason for Robin choosing to do this to himself was because of the Lewy body disease. What Lewy bodies does, it attacks brain cells, destroying them to where they never come back. It's still today not even understood how to stop it or cure it. What we do know is that Robin is missed, and he has left us years worth of art. It's here for generations to enjoy and to learn from. To this day, Robin still seems to affect all of us in different ways, from the funny guy and the man that seems like our TV dad that we can't believe is gone, but still enjoy who he is to us. It's Robin. It's just that simple. He'll always be ours.